Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Scion of the Dark House. Just as a reminder, this is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Gothic Horror podcast, meaning that there is going to be material that some of you may not want to consume, such as horror, violence, gore, undead things, and other oddities that may be happening. I have made sure to find out every single player's lines and veils. So please be aware of yours, and if you have to take a break or give up the podcast entirely, that is perfectly fine. Your mental health is important to us. So, to recap what happened in the first 2 episodes, since we're literally in a new session this time, the 4 of you ended up coming together during a encounter with zombies in a house. Then Percy, the cleric, received a letter saying that a house that was part of his family for hundreds of years but has been in legal limbo has been returned to him, and he has to go sign paperwork in a far-off town. You all set off and found yourselves in Short Drop Run, a place comprised of 3 towns, weeping, wailing, and gnashing. After stopping at the Maggoty Grave, you had a brief encounter with the undead, which apparently is becoming more and more common. After waking up to the dead body of the stable boy and delivering his body to Wailing, you discovered a Banshee in a windmill, which you guys swiftly took care of. You then were handed a basket of goodies to take over to Gnashing to give to the Staker family, a family of butchers who you found was being harassed by Billy Butcher, a rival butcher. And it seems our cleric has had a revelation that something strange is going on in the Staker household, because a genetic disease with no cure has apparently been cured in a little girl. And we start you off exactly where you left off with this revelation. You are all standing on the porch of the Staker family house, which has been adorned with the body parts of goats and smeared with blood, apparently by the rival butcher, Billy Butcher. And Salune is guiding Charlotte, the little girl, back inside the house as she continues to talk to you on the porch. So what would you all like to do?
Well, I suppose at this point, Percy is a little suspicious of Salune, and he might just say to her something like, we're happy to have delivered your neighbor's gifts to you. We're also in search of nearby undead. Do you have any idea where they could possibly be?
Oh, not really. They've been coming from all over for the past few days. The town that's been hit the least is Weeping, but they still have their troubles.
Understood. Would you have any idea why the undead have taken such an interest in these towns?
No, I don't have any idea whatsoever. It's really strange.
Can I make an insight check on that?
Yes, you certainly may.
That is insight 17.
17? She's telling the truth.
Okay.
She has absolutely no idea why the undead are harassing the town. Not any clue.
Thank you. And we will likely be around for the next short while. So if you have any problems, the four of us can see what we can do.
Of course. Just stay away from Billy Butcher. You
Yes,
can. This is him on a good day.
seems
Um,
rather gruesome.
so you get used to it, especially since we're butchers ourselves. But he's a cross we all have to bear. Well, I'm going to get back inside and get a clean rag and a clean bucket of water. You all have a lovely day. And she goes inside and shuts the door.
Is her
As
husband
well.
still?
What?
Her husband is indoors.
I don't know about the three of you, but I'm a bit more interested in what's going on with that little girl in there.
Yes, things are not quite adding up. Both of them, the mother and the daughter, have a disease called consuming twilight. Completely incurable. It's killed many elves of their kind. Yet somehow the daughter's recovered. They said she was bedridden, and normally at that stage, there's nothing to be done. She should, by all means, be dead.
I think we need some more information about what's going on there.
She seemed truthful, though, in that she doesn't understand why the undead are attacking her town, but I do have suspicions.
Perhaps it might be wise to maybe speak with the girl about her experiences, get some firsthand account of what's actually happened.
Possibly, though I can't say I have any good ideas on how to make that one-on-one happen.
Agreed. I don't believe that today it would be a wise choice. She seems to be, dealing with quite a lot. Perhaps tomorrow.
Probably a wise decision. We came here for another reason as well, though, the undead lurking nearby. So perhaps we tackle that for now.
Primeval awareness. See where they're at.
Yes. There doesn't seem to be any directly in the town of Nashing. Once again, you kind of get that sort of odd halo around on the horizon of faint auras of undead creatures kind of moving around. You do notice something, though. In the direction of Weeping, there was a couple of sort of bright lights. They weren't powerful undead, but they were definitely something over there, whether it was groups of things or just even a single thing. One of those has gone out.
Interesting. Share this information with the group. That seems curious, and I think it merits further investigation if
True.
the rest of you are up for it.
Could we not be the only ones hunting out here?
Perhaps not. The only way to find out is to see for ourselves.
Very well. Lead the way.
And away we go.
So you all head in the direction of Weeping. It's probably going to take you, I didn't actually set down exact distances, but it's probably going to take you maybe about an hour and a half to walk there. And the terrain does change once again. You start seeing larger and larger groups of pine trees. There seems to be a creek that is traveling through the area. And soon you get to a thicker, more dense area of pine trees with the village nestled in it. On the far end, there is a watermill that is slowly creaking, right before a waterfall. And the houses here aren't very tall. They're quite short. They all seem to be one story. Possibly because of the pine trees and the density that they all seem to have, but it's very shady here. You also notice that there's an increased amount of bugs, like flies or mosquitoes, as well as creatures known as sturges. You'd be aware of these. They're kind of a odd combination of a bird and a mosquito, very insect-like wings, long proboscises that tend to swarm. There's a lot of them around here.
How big are they?
They're only about maybe that big.
Okay, still uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're definitely significantly larger than insects, but they're not like the size of a cat or a dog or anything like that.
Okay.
If any, the closest comparison might be like something along the lines of maybe a small bearded dragon or a gecko around that size.
Say like a hummingbird, but a big hummingbird.
Somewhere between the two of them, something like that. But you are aware of these creatures. They are completely natural. They come from swamps, just like mosquitoes. So this isn't necessarily an odd sign, but there is a lot of them.
Yeah. Percy's gonna be like, carries a disease. Disgusting.
These are
above
absolutely
game.
charming.
Of course you would think
say that. Flying things. So above game, primeval awareness, I haven't used this yet, but I can communicate with beasts, like really basic ideas. Can I see like what's their
let
going
me
on
check
about?
something real quick, because I am not sure of the tag that exists on said things.
While you're doing that, I'll be like, Lark, you're like an insect or something. Can't you tell these things to leave us alone?
He's just Lark. Percy. These are just, he's kind of just like, they're cute, but just because they're cute doesn't mean I can talk to them.
Well, tell them to suck your blood then.
Okay.
I don't have enough to go
yes,
around.
you can talk to them. They do have the beast tag. I was checking because reasons.
As reasons, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So can I like see what's caused them to swarm? Like what they're interested in?
So you can get simple ideas from them as well?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it
Yep,
only
back and forth?
Okay.
Yep.
So you get the sense from them that there has been an increased amount of blood and food sources, probably meaning animals, undead, people, an increased amount of food source in the area.
Lovely. Okay.
If
So
they off the undead, Sturge breeding program. Think about it. Introduce natural enemies into the habitat. That's a joke. That joke.
Yeah, it does actually seem to be functioning like that. If you're adding up the timeline, there's a possibility that yes, the Sturge increase has coincided with the undead increase.
So presumably the thicker the swarm of sturges, the more likely we are to encounter undead and or actual dead. Fair. Okay. Are we close enough that I might be able to tell what that might be yet, i.e. 5 miles?
Oh, well, you're definitely close enough. What information are you trying to get again?
If any favored enemies are present, I'll read the thing. It reveals general direction and distance, what type of enemy it is, i.e. like zombie, banshee, blah, 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 how many there are, and if there's more than one group of them, that information for each group.
Oh, that's a lot. A lot more than I was thinking.
Mhm.
Well, I don't actually have a lot of information for this, but there are a few zombies here and there, probably not in any larger group than maybe like 3 or 4. They are very far away, mostly in the very thick woods that are beyond the edges of town. There doesn't seem to be anything in the town itself.
Okay.
Okay. But once again, like I said, there was a pretty strong presence that has vanished that was around here that you were at least somewhat aware of.
Okay. So Arthur informs the group there's, lots of small groups of undead around. However, I don't believe it would be worth our time to continue engaging in small fish, so to speak. We need to stop it at the source. And I think the most interesting thing to investigate would be that signal, so to speak, that I found earlier that dropped off. So can we just continue heading that direction where I sense that, I suppose?
Yes. Similar to whaling, it seems to have, the strongest symbol had to have probably been coming from the watermill.
Okay.
As you come into town, you do see there is a large swarm of sturges, bigger than any of the swarms that you've seen, over towards a house with a very sort of large pen that looks like it had pigs in it. But all the pigs seem to be dead.
Oh.
And the sturges are swarming them. And of course, the farmers are out there waving sticks, trying to get them away.
I was going to ask, are there a lot of people in this town? Like, how are they faring with these big bugs? Like,
you get the sense that this has kind of been something that they've dealt with for a long time because of the proximity to water. There's a possibility that there are patches around the town or even in the town that are kind of sort of swamp-like. And that, of course, is the breeding ground for like bugs and, of course, sturges. And that they have been on a much, much smaller scale been dealing with it. So now that it's increased, they are a little overwhelmed, but they know what they're doing. They're not terrified.
Okay. Gotcha. I say like, shall we aid them or? And Percy kind of is already kind of like shuffling in their direction. Like,
I think we should at least learn how long has it been going on.
Seems wise enough to me.
Yeah, or if it has happened before.
Sure. So Percy's gonna head over to the farmers and probably like shoot off a sacred flame at one of the little sturges.
At that point, with the bright flash of light, the sturges scatter to the trees and leave very few of them behind. And one of the farmers turns to you and he kind of just nods and tips his hat and just goes on. This time, he seems to have, now that most of the sturges is gone, he puts down his stick or broom that he was using, and he and the other 2 farmers start picking up the pig bodies and start dragging them away.
Are they like really big pig bodies?
Yes and no. They're big, but there aren't a lot of them. There's probably about 5 in the pen. And some of them were smaller than others, but they're probably about the average size of a pig.
So a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah, so that's why all 3 of them are like hauling this thing, and it's still dragging through the mud. They haven't bothered to like carefully try and pick it up or anything. They're just dragging its back end, the 3 of them.
There's a great potential for bacon here.
Percy kind of rolls his eyes and like walks over to the farmer, and is gonna ask, forgive me for asking, but what happened to your animals?
We don't know. We woke up one morning and all the pigs were dead. Heard nothing, saw nothing.
Hmm.
Can I make like a medicine check on the pigs?
Medicine, I think, is kind of like investigation, where you actually have to get up and close and like touch
Okay.
and palpate and things like that. So give me a perception check.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not gonna be like, can I touch your dead pig, please? Okay, that's gonna be 16.
Oh, the pig that they are carrying has a hole about that large in its neck.
Ooh.
Just a single hole.
Okay. Does it? It's okay if my perception check doesn't tell me this, but can Percy see if it looks like drained of fluids and like?
It does look drained of fluids. The hole looks kind of dry.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm sorry to hear that. My friends and I here are a party hunting undead. Have you heard anything?
No, not any more than any of the other towns. I'm sure you've been to them and heard their plats, but probably not any more.
Well, I hope your good fortune continues aside from your livestock. We'll be on our way, I suppose. Good luck to you.
Well, thank you. And he keeps dragging this pig towards the
Percy's looking like,
house.
could I? It's fine. I'll go. And I come back and I say, well, they haven't heard anything about undead, but that pig had some sort of puncture, suction wound, as if it has been drained of its blood.
Sanguination would be an odd method of killing for an undead creature. It's almost as if something similar to the Sturges has done that,
True,
only on a much larger scale.
I can't imagine they're big, but not that big.
Right.
Alrighty then. Well, mystery continues, I suppose.
Quite.
To the watermill.
Seems as good a place as any.
All right.
Is there any
So,
out and about in town?
is there
Or
any
just
what?
those farmers? Is there anybody else out and about, or just the farmer whose pig got killed?
There are other people out and about. They seem to have various things like brooms or rags that they're kind of snapping in the direction of the Sturges as they walk. They're all wearing kind of broader hats. But there aren't very many. This seems to be quite a quiet town.
Before we head to that mill, which I'm totally game for, by the way, can I have Jasmine like smell just to see if there's anything alive in there?
In the mill?
Mhm.
Yes. Perception check with advantage because keen smell.
Yep. Let me get her. Let me get 4. Okay. So we'll just use this one.
I have a question.
Mhm.
A noob question.
12.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There is something
She's got a
alive in
cold.
there,
Mm.
but it's not undead.
Right. That's what I was concerned of. Okay. So
So what is the new
proceeding with
question,
caution.
quote unquote?
So, how do you know which, like how to check things, or like which kind of checks you're gonna use?
So I think all of the skills are relatively self-explanatory. Investigation, I think the ones that you're probably going to be using the most are like history, arcana, investigation. History is recalling like historical events.
Yeah.
Arcana is recalling information about magic.
Yep, yeah, all the ones I'm
Investigation
terrible at. Yep.
is physically searching through something. So you can choose to make those kinds of checks at any point. If you,
Okay.
it's not like I don't have to necessarily prompt you. I can, especially for things like perception checks. But if you feel you need to make a check, or if you want to make a check, you can ask to make a check. Sometimes
Okay.
I will just give you the information because there's no way that you'd forget it, or it's information that's right in front of you that you would already know. So is there a check that you're wanting to make?
I don't think there's a check that I can do that applies to the moment or to this instance.
Well, then if I
Okay.
might, I
Yeah.
share that I discovered something alive in there and advise the group that I think proceeding with caution is wise given the amount of deaths that we've encountered on our journey so far. And so if you
Alive,
think it wise,
generally?
alive-ish, maybe.
Like a person,
if you think it
an
wise,
animal, or like
I can't tell.
alive.
Jasmine
Well,
only knows that something is alive. That's it.
well, it's better than I can do, I suppose. So
Yeah. I'm pretty good at stealth though, so perhaps
You'd like
Jasmine and I
to-
could scout ahead just a bit to make sure it's not a danger.
that sounds wise. Let's go ahead.
Stealth check to enter the building unnoticed.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to flip into the stat block.
I don't like the sound of that. All right, where is my stealth? Okay. Do you want me to check Jasmine as well?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're taking her with you.
Oh yeah, she's definitely coming with.
I figured, but had to check.
Okay, let me get back to my roll here. 16 for both.
Oh, okay. You open this door. It feels like it should creak, but you're used to opening doors quietly to get in and out of places. You're an assassin. So you open the door and it doesn't make a sound. Just as it's wide enough for Jasmine to go in, she slips in. Since she is a big cat, she's used to this. You creep in as well, inching along the wall. It's very dusty in here. It's very clear that this was a not a windmill, a water mill that was used to grind up wheat. Since it's a rectangular building, and there's a millstone at one end that isn't hooked up to the wheel anymore, so it's just sitting there. There's rafters and a second story that's just a balcony around. It looks like just to get closer to the higher up sort of gears and wheels and mechanics and things. But the floor is relatively empty. It was probably just used possibly as a threshing floor. But it's completely clean swept and just a dirt floor.
Mm-hmm.
You see, laying on the floor is the body of someone. It's dark in here, but they're probably somewhere between the age of maybe 24 and 30 by the looks of it. And it's just a body on the floor.
Interesting.
If you'd
Okay.
like, you can make a perception check.
Sure.
And I'm going to make an entirely different check for reasons.
Spooky.
Ugh. I'm rolling for crap today. 11.
Well, that's lucky because I rolled worse. You do hear this sort of really weird creaking sound up in the rafters, like something shifting. And you freeze, your eyes dart up. This thing still hasn't noticed you. But up above, there is a humanoid figure sitting in the rafters. Huge bat wings spread out with in their shadow, perched on the railing. And as it sort of shifts and it turns its head, and as it does, this long proboscis appears.
Called it. I freaking called it.
And that's what you see up in the rafters. Of course, also this place is swarming with sturges.
Okay. Jasmine and I are not handling this on our own. We are out of there. So we
All right.
sneak back out. Do you want me to make another stealth check?
Yes, I would like you to make another stealth check.
Okay. All right. And everybody wish me luck on my rolls.
I
My
believe
20s are
in you.
not liking me today.
And
Dex boy, do it.
Oh, God.
oh, come on.
Oh, God. Okay. I got an 11. Jasmine got a 14.
Yeah, you get out of there.
Oh,
This thing seems entirely oblivious to your presence. I rolled like crap. You get out, and again, this
Going
place
around.
is swarming and crawling with sturges, and you come back to the group.
You're
Okay.
like, Percy's gonna be. So, to my understanding, you don't need the wings, but you have. What is the point of the wings?
I mean, so Lark's just, I don't know how many times I have to tell you that I was born with them. It's not my fault I have these wings. He flutters them a little with some like
Arthur.
sparkles.
What
I
did you
hate to
find?
interrupt your extremely riveting conversation, but speaking of wings, I have never seen whatever that is in there before, but I think it's probably what killed the pigs. And there's a body in there that looks to be in a very similar state. Real big wings, weird little proboscis, blood sucky thing. Not really feeling that it's a good vibe for the town. So
Let's
you-
burn the place.
say that again.
Let's burn the place down.
Rerek has a point. That would be the easiest way to deal with this, the least amount of effort.
I mean, the watermill's not actually functional anymore, so it's not like we'd really be taking anything away from the townspeople.
I have a few concerns. I don't know if the townspeople will appreciate us burning their watermill down. It might not necessarily even kill the beast. Maybe it'll just fly out. And what if they do need the watermill? Maybe they just haven't gone in because of the beast, or maybe the person who was in there was supposed to repair it, or I'm a little uncomfortable with the idea of destroying the watermill.
Well, you're the smart one. I suppose we should probably take your advice.
But it's interesting that none of the villagers know this giant thing.
Yeah. How it does seem a little mysterious. There's a large murderous vampire butterfly that is in their town, and they just have no idea why their pigs are dying. Does anyone even bother to check besides this one dead person? Or
Which means they don't care about the watermill.
it's very strange.
Right. I'm not entirely thrilled about the idea of fire in general, so I'm not going to say that's our best bet, but I don't think that we should suffer it to continue to live. In any case.
True, and you said you couldn't detect it, so it's not undead. It's just
It's not undead.
beast.
Beast is the best way to describe it, yes.
If it's not undead, though, why do we have to kill it?
Well, it's killing pigs and a person.
I suppose we don't really have to. We could just leave it alone.
It's killed at least one person. We can't leave these people. These people can barely take care of pigs. They can't. We can't leave them with this monster.
If you say so. I mean, it's not really our business.
And I don't eat bacon.
Yes, I remember you're a vegetarian. Well, I vote kill the butterfly. Where do we stand on this?
You're the smart one. Kill the butterfly.
I
I-
appreciate
We are
being
burning the
called
building.
smart one, but sure. So 2 votes yes. What say you, Rerek and Lark?
Yes, kill the bastard.
Good.
Well,
Okay.
don't let me be the only dissenting voice. Let's end it.
You're sure you don't want her talking to this one?
Oh, that's right.
Spencer, based off the description that Arthur gave us, would Lark know anything about this thing? Does it sound familiar at all?
No, it does
Okay.
not sound familiar at all.
Lark's just like, I don't think I care that much, so I don't mind.
Oh, I wasn't sure because we've had that was the hill you chose to die on the last time, so I just wanted to make sure this time.
Well, banshees can be reasoned with.
All right.
Clearly.
You somewhat proved the point last time, so let's just go kill it. What's our plan of attack? I am not quite as dexterous as you are, Arthur, so I don't know if stealth is my best option.
Shoot. Is it possible to get it out of that building if you want to save the building? I don't know.
Well, I don't. Minor damages are one thing, I suppose. I just don't want to burn it to the ground.
Right.
It would probably be smarter to keep it localized and contained inside, so it couldn't just fly away.
I doubt my bow will do much damage to the structure itself, so perhaps I could sneak in and get a shot off at least before it notices
I'm
that
more
it's
worried
being
about our
attacked.
large draconic friend breathing fire or whatnot.
You and me both.
But that is probably a smart idea. Try to get in one quick hit before it inevitably drains all of our blood and kills us. So I suppose that's
So
a good plan of
morbid.
day.
Saith the plague doctor. Stealth check to sneak back in there, which seems unwise. Okay.
How big is it exactly? It's big, but I'm not sure how big.
You said like person size, right?
Yeah.
The creature or the building?
The
The
creature.
creature.
Yeah, it's about human sized.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I've fought larger butterfly vampires.
Okay. I was imagining like it's like a dragon size. I was like,
No.
burn the
no.
thing.
If it was a
Oh, dear.
dragon
Percy
sized,
saying,
it would
"Burn the
have to
barn,
sit
burn
on
it."
top of the mill.
Right. I doubt it would fit inside the mill if it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 10. Jasmine got 17.
All right. I'm gonna roll a quick perception check. Wait, what did you say that Jasmine got?
17.
17. Okay. Okay. Nope. It doesn't seem to notice you.
Nailed it. Okay. So bum, 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 bum. Just take a shot at it with my longbow before anything else.
Yep, you can do that.
Okay. Firing away. 23.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, that hits.
Nailed it. Okay, just real quick before I roll damage, what's the situation like positioning in relation? Like I know this thing is above me,
Hmm.
and I guess Jasmine's just kind of at my side. Did we like scoot around, like kind of hug the wall, I guess?
Yes, you most likely
Smart.
hugged the wall because the
Fabulous.
floor is way too exposed.
Lovely. All right. And that is 10 for damage.
All right. Oh, that is not 10 minus whatever. So you fire this arrow and it up into the rafters and strikes this thing. You see it fall backwards a little bit, scrabble, flapping its wings. And you actually hear a raspy human voice come from it. I knew this day would come. As it tries to keep back on. And I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative.
I do it with my purple dice.
Oh my goodness.
Bam.
Do it with my screen die.
Is this a friendly butterfly vampire man?
Mother of tits,
Wait,
says
which-
Yofi, not Arthur. Got a 7.
Oh,
Ow.
that's interesting. What else did I-
17.
17 for Rerek,
I got a 16.
16 for Percy and Lark.
So for the first time ever, Lark has broken a 10, not only a 10, but a 20 on his initiative. 19 plus 2 is 21.
So proud.
21. Ooh. So I guess you
Started
would
from the bottom, now we here.
you would technically be the first to act, although you are outside of the mill.
Is there like, so did Arthur leave the door slightly open when he snuck in for us to go in after him, or is it closed again?
I will let Arthur decide whether or not he left the door open.
I'm going to say that I'm at least smart enough to have left the door open just a skosh.
And is
Awesome.
there, besides for the door, are there any like, so it's big enough that there's rafters and stuff. So
Mhm.
are there any like broken windows or some thatch on the roof, it looks like, or a hole in the wall anywhere if it's a rundown mill?
It doesn't look too run down, but it does have windows along the second floor where the balcony would be,
Okay.
but the shutters are closed.
Okay.
And it does have, I will say, a thatch roof because that's probably plentiful, especially since they're not too far away from whaling, that they would probably have a lot more thatch roofs than they would shingle roofs.
I mean, I guess pretty much I was looking for somewhere that Lark could just fly through because
Yeah.
very magic bullshit. He can get through any space that's at least an inch wide.
Mhm.
So I was wondering if he could like sneak up to the second floor and blast the motherfucker, but I guess he's just gonna like. Did we hear this thing talk to Arthur outside or no?
If you'd all like, you can give me perception checks. I'm not sure how far away from the actual building you all are. I'm assuming you're close, so you can just dash in.
Yeah, I was assuming that we were like right outside the door.
Okay.
Percy did not hear.
Perception. Let me double check this. I have proficiency in it, grossly enough.
Oh,
Me too.
That is an 18 for Lark.
okay. Yeah, you definitely heard it. It wasn't loud or crystal clear, but you definitely heard it speak.
As
It's
like a
very much aware of the Arthur's presence now.
is talking just like a quick sentence of free action or anything, or is that going to burn any part of my?
Yeah,
actual
talking is a free action.
I'm just gonna look at Rerek and Percy, and I'm just gonna be like, it talked to him, and it doesn't sound like it's being super. It doesn't sound friendly. And when he says that, he's just literally gonna zip in. The cavalry is here. And he's gonna look up into the rafters and see if he can spot the thing, which I'm hoping he can, assuming he can.
Yeah, I mean, you have pretty good dark vision, and it's literally just sitting there in the rafters with its wings out, and it's also just been hit with an arrow, just stumbling, so the motion alone probably attracts your attention.
So I'm gonna, let me see here, spell list, because all I have is magic. So I think it's time for us to try out, for anybody watching at home or listening, Spencer helped me work out some extra Shadow Sorcerer spells for Shadow Sorcerers to keep up with Natasha's Sorcerers. So we're going to try one of those. I'm going to cast Hex on it.
Okay.
So I think, let me, with the power of the internet, double check what Hex does. I know it's a bonus action. I just need to see what saving throw it is.
I also am looking it up, so I have it.
Oh, there is no saving throw with Hex. What?
Doesn't look it. No.
Oh,
no
shit.
saving throw.
No.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna Hex it, and the ability that I choose, I guess we'll do like, I mean, if it's flying, and I'll do dexterity. So it has disadvantage on dexterity-based ability checks.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll Hex it as a bonus action, and then I'm going to throw a Chill Touch at it with my action.
Dexterity is good.
Chill Touch.
Chill, bro. Like, chill, bro, and then touchdown.
Interestingly, chill touch is neither chill nor touch.
No.
Isn't it necrotic?
It is necrotic damage, and when Lark conjures his Chill Touch, instead of making a skeletal hand, he literally just makes a little ghastly floating skull that he like off the tip of his wand that he launches at people to bite them. 16
yummy.
to hit.
Yes, that just hits.
Hell yeah. So Chill Touch is, I think it's a D8. I always look things up on my phone. Sorry, guys. It's just faster for me because I don't own any of the books. Okay, so 1d8 plus, it's going to take an extra d6 of necrotic damage. Because I hexed it.
Yep.
Get that good ASMR of physical dice rolls. So that's 8, well, wait. Yeah, that's a 2. So 8 necrotic damage, and he can't restore hit points.
You notice as the skull slams, does it like bite or does it like explode? What happens on impact?
So because of the wording and stuff of how Chill Touch works, it literally bites and latches on because it prevents a target it hits from recovering hit points until my next turn, I think. And if it was undead, it gets disadvantage on attack rolls against me.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Interestingly, as it bites on, it looks like it doesn't quite bite on as much as you thought it would.
Aww.
All right. So up next is Rerek. You have just seen Lark flit in, and you've heard him cast a spell after shouting, "The cavalry is here." So it is your turn.
So I go in and I'm like, indeed. And I throw in, and I throw in a spell. Firebolt.
Sure. Roll for attack.
Okay. A 20.
Is that a natural 20 or is that with bonuses?
It has a I have +5 bonus, I think. Hold on.
But
Let
did
me
you
check.
roll a 20?
Yes.
That's a critical.
Ooh.
That's a
Oh,
crit.
So that means
Yes.
that you deal whatever the max damage is, and then you roll it again. So Firebolt does a
Goddamn.
think it's
a
D10.
D8 of damage.
I think Firebolt's a D10.
Firebolt might be a
Checking.
D10.
D10.
D10, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So
1d10 fire
roll
damage.
that 10 again. Roll that D10. So you'll deal 10 fire damage plus whatever you roll.
7.
So you deal 17 points of damage with a
Damn.
cantrip at level
Happy
3.
birthday!
My goodness. So yes, you
Burn!
launch this firebolt at this and it hits. And you notice as the fire spreads out across it, it's wearing a rudimentary shirt and pants that have now caught on fire and are burning it as it scrabbles and starts flapping and raises up off the ground, off the rafter a little bit, hissing. Up next is Percy.
Wonderful.
Wait, before he goes, I go, he's not naked.
Percy's like, good to know. And well, now he's on fire, so I'm assuming I don't need to worry about perception, even though I don't have dark vision.
He's lit up like a Christmas tree.
So Percy's just burn monster, and he's going to throw a sacred flame at it.
All right, and that is a dexterity save, which because of Hex is at disadvantage, I think.
I don't think Hex hits saving throws, just
It's
ability.
just ability checks. Right.
Okay. Well, still.
Like if he does like acrobatics, he's gonna suck at it.
And what's your save DC?
Second, it is 13.
Oh, no, it got a 21.
I have not lifted a single one of these.
You launch it and it's flailing a lot and there's a lot of fire. Your holy light just gets lost in the flames.
Wonderful.
So is there anything else you would like to do before Arthur goes?
I don't know. Nah, fam. I guess I'm just gonna like move pretty much in the center of the area.
Something. So can I take a free action to converse with the group for just a sec?
Sure.
Okay.
I might end up cutting you off if it's too long because rounds are 6 seconds, of course. Okay.
Something doesn't seem right here. Does I think this thing used to be human. It's wearing clothes. It knew we were going to attack it eventually.
Also,
does anybody have like detect magic or something? I can't sense anything.
I do.
And round.
Okay.
So, well, now would be your time to actually act since that was your free action.
Oh God, I feel really bad now. Like I want to put out the fire, but I don't know how.
We're all just standing there staring at it like it's in flame, and we're like,
it's like a vampire that didn't want to be one, and now it's just killing things.
Shucks. Oh dang it!
Maybe we should have talked to this one.
Okay. Question for the DM.
Don't talk to the monster. It feels kind of arbitrary that we want to talk to this one, but not the Banshee. Just saying.
All right. Mm-hmm. Interesting question. Can I try to just stop its movement by firing arrows into its wings and pin it to the wall?
I'll say this. You are still going to deal damage, but if it drops but if you drop it to 0 hit points, it's going to be stabilized instead of dead.
Oh.
It's Pokemon rules.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna aim for the next.
Excuse me.
All right.
So basically that's non-lethal damage. If you can declare that you are dealing non-lethal damage, and if that damage knocks the creature to 0 hit points, it falls unconscious instead of dying. That is a thing you can do.
Then let's go for that. I didn't know I could do that.
However, if it doesn't drop the creature to 0, it will just deal damage to it.
Right. Okay. Okay, well then, I'll fire my bow again.
All right, roll for attack.
That is 24.
Yep, that hits.
And I just realized Jasmine didn't attack last turn. Oh well. Well,
It is up
9
in like
for damage. So.
10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
More,
She's
probably
got
more
a
than that.
40-foot climb.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, these are like walls. There's probably a flight of stairs somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it is-
yeah, 9 for damage.
All right. The arrow once again sings through the air and strikes this creature, and it hisses. And it is going to go. This time, it's going to go for the person that dealt the most damage to it.
What?
And strangely, which I think it's you, Rerek. But strangely, as it begins to flap wobbly up in the air, it actually once again speaks. And it says, at last, I shall still fight you, but I've wanted this. And it flies down towards you, Rerek. It has a 40-foot fly speed, so it definitely gets to you.
Darn it.
And it's going to swipe at you with its claw. And that is a 19 to hit.
Oh God. Save throw or something.
Nope.
I'm not dying or anything yet.
Well, we still have to calculate damage.
Yeah. So that is 5 points of slashing damage. And strangely enough, 3 points of acid damage. Then while it's kind of grabbed onto you, it tries to stick its huge proboscis into you.
I'm a top.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, oh no. I love that reaction because it then rolled a natural 1. So I'd almost like to think that you did actually say that and just grabbed it by the shoulders and it didn't quite make it in. And that is the end of its turn. And we're going to go back up to the top with Lark.
Ooh, okay. So, he's just going to be like, if you want to die, it takes all the fun out of this. So he's concentrating on his hex.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're gonna do stop. My computer's being dumb. I'm gonna throw a chaos bolt at this boy.
Ooh.
Because I love that spell. Love it. Love to see it.
Yes.
Chaos. 16 again. 10 plus 6.
Yep, that just hits.
Barely. And it's 2d8. And I'm going to pull up the chart to see what we can get. Okay. Come on, phone. I believe in you. So here we go. That's an 8 and a 5. So that gives me the options of thunder or lightning. Well, let's do lightning for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
So Lark just kind of flicks. He's just like, oh, this is so boring now. And he says like something in Sylvan briefly as this like sphere of shadows and a couple sparkles. He's still a fairy. Shoots out of the end of his wand and then turns into a fucking light orb of lightning right before it hits this thing. Oh wait, I also get to add the necrotic damage.
Yes, but it's
So,
halved.
13 lightning and then 3 necrotic.
Oh, well, the necrotic didn't matter because it had 12 hit points. You blast this thing with lightning and it is flung off of Rerek onto the ground, still crackling with lightning for a moment before it just And you see this thing now. It does have now very, very singed clothes on it, a long proboscis, a sort of spiked head of sort of white hair. I'm going to cover up the name because you don't know what this thing is, but I'm going to try and show it to you without the, oops. So that's what it kind of looked like. This horrible, it looked like a human that had very, very scourge-like features.
So it didn't have butterfly wings.
No, it had bat wings.
Okay.
And it is now on the ground as well as the other corpse. You are now out of initiative.
Well, there goes questioning it. Can I go roll an investigation check on it? I guess
Which one?
I'll do the Sturge boy.
All
If
right.
I can, maybe Arcana. See if I can. I don't know. Figure something magical about what this guy is.
I'll say yes, but the DC is incredibly high.
Oh boy, it's gonna probably not result in anything. Oh wow, actually, I rolled an 18 plus 2, so unnatural 20.
Oh. So there's a lot of legends of blood-sucking things. And curses that transform people into various things. This could be that. It could be somehow this thing was transformed or combined with a scourge.
Gotcha.
Not quite sure.
What else? I can't quite pin what this is, but based on what he was saying and, well, the sorry state of him, it could have been a curse. Some sort of transformation that was forced upon him.
You're muted, Yofi.
That's all right. I was talking to myself for a second anyway. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Can I do detect magic to figure out what kind of magic it is? Or
Sure, you can cast Detect Magic.
okay.
Let me check the range.
Ooh.
So are you doing it as a ritual or are you using a spell slot? Because if
Give me
you're
one
doing it
second.
as a ritual, you won't spend the spell slot, but it'll take 10 minutes.
We got time.
1 second. Ooh. I think a ritual would be better.
Okay. So it is going to take 10 minutes. So while you are doing that, does anybody else have anything they want to do?
I go check the other dead body.
Yes. Give me an investigation check.
I'm probably not good at it, but I'm bored now. It wasn't fun killing him. So let's go see investigation. That's going to be a whole plus nothing. Straight D20. And that's blown away. Let's grab another D20. Oh shit, that's a 17.
Oh. So this is really bizarre because when you get up close, you notice this thing has pointy ears, this person. Their mouth is also slightly ajar, and you see fangs, like vampire fangs.
Holy cow.
And there is once again, similar to the pigs, a puncture hole in its neck. And this vampire seems to have been exsanguinated.
So do I know what a vampire is?
Yes, you would know what a vampire is. They're kind of ubiquitous.
Okay. Oh, guys, we killed a vampire eater.
The vampire got vampired.
The
I was
vampire
gonna
got...
say.
That's a
How does that even work?
thing.
So now with that information, if anybody would like, they can roll an Arcana check or a nature check, I think. But the DC is also going to be incredibly high.
I didn't do great. I got a 14.
Nope.
While y'all are rolling, I've got a question for our DM here.
Mm-hmm.
What's the hardness of that proboscis like?
Like,
Are you gonna like make a spear out of his head?
It does have a sort of awkward curve to it, but it is rather hard. If you think about like if you've ever felt a parrot's beak, it's pretty hard. You can probably like cut through it with a sword, or chip it pretty easily, but it's about that level of hardness.
just like bone.
So
Yeah.
above game, I'm really interested in seeing if that can be made into a weapon, is what I'm getting at.
Wow, what a surprise.
That's what I'm going for here.
It is a very unique shape, and
well-
you'd probably need a lot of training to try and use it.
And like a saw.
Probably a
It's like-
saw to get it off.
Hang on to it for a second and maybe see if we find a smith or vampire weapon crafter person, something. I don't know.
I mean, if you want to, you can cut off its head.
Yeah,
Oh
And
my
carry its
God.
head until
Distracted
you
with
can
that.
get the.
vampire, so we can.
I mean, I'll give the due respect and like wait until everybody's done investigating it, and like when they've finished their like browsing, I'm just gonna like try to cleave its head off with like no explanation
All right.
whatsoever.
Good.
I'm gonna say that
Can't wait.
it probably takes you 2 or 3 whacks to get its head off, but you get its head off. At that
Should
point,
we-
your detect magic probably goes off.
Should we wait for like the magic ritual to finish before
Yeah.
you decapitate?
I'm like-
That's what I'm saying. I want to give the proper time
Yeah.
for them to
Sure.
do their thing. Yeah.
I was about to say, I'm busy here. What are you trying to do?
You shockingly do not see any magic.
Do our wizard or sorcerer want to make an arcana check on the body?
I made an Arcana check and got a 12. Who
Okay.
needs to
yeah,
know
so
what
now-
they're doing with
Well, he
that?
said nature too. Arthur, you do nature.
With your
I,
cat.
I'm not proficient in nature, and
You're
I'm
a
kind of-
ranger.
I know, but I didn't take that. My nature bonus is 0, like literally, and my intelligence is 10.
You're a city boy ranger.
Yeah.
Texas.
My
Ranger.
mother was a seamstress. Like,
All right.
what do you want from me?
So
All
yeah,
up
it
to
seems
you.
like none of you know what this thing is. It's just this weird thing that you've just never seen before.
Well, so if I get its head, maybe we can figure it out later.
Let me finish doing my thing first.
It has gone off. You didn't see any magic.
Okay. Has it been 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'll say it's been 10 minutes with people just like rolling the bodies and poking around on them. It's been 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's been a fun time.
Percy's
Lark's
gonna be.
like, we should
What
definitely.
even happens if you drain a vampire of its blood? What?
Apparently, this.
Oh,
Did we kill this village's protector?
well, he was apparently
It was
doing
killing the pigs.
a happy job of protecting them.
I mean, really, I don't care that much. He wanted to die, so I was happy to oblige him. But
We're going to have a serious conversation about you enjoying murder at some point soon, but I guess this is a bit more pressing now. This is very confusing.
It's at this point while they're talking that I'd like to attempt to chop its head off.
Okay.
and I want to see.
Just
We've met you.
just roll me a general strength check. You're gonna get it off. You're gonna get the head off,
Or
but
something.
just
You're
to see
gonna
how
get
hard
it
it
off.
is.
Nat 20!
Have a serious conversation about it. Oh my god, what? Say
Just
that patient. Oh,
full on executioner swing. Just
what are you doing, Arthur?
If I had a camera, I would have been like,
filming.
Souvenir?
but no, I'm like keeping more notes.
I don't know. This pointy bit could come in handy.
That was probably a human man at some point.
Used to.
Lark killed it.
And
Don't look
humans are
like
more
one.
than capable
He's
of
gonna carry
terrible
his head
things.
around all day,
Well, nobody else is gonna do anything with it.
bleeding everywhere.
The place was already a mess.
What's
It'll be
that?
fine.
What?
It's fine. Whatever. All right. Apparently, I'm the weird one here.
Nobody
Yes,
else seems
you
to have a
are.
problem with this.
Arthur,
What,
Um,
Lark?
should we? What? How do we dispose of a vampire body? You spend a lot of time with the undead.
Sure. Can I roll like knowledge on that?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. was mostly
Sure.
just
You can
interested in
roll
the
me,
head.
and probably a nature check would be the best.
Oof. That's gonna be a 5.
I mean, you've heard that sunlight takes care of vampires.
Well, he's indoors, so I best guess would be laying him out in the sun.
Wait a minute. So am I gonna lose my head if we go outside?
I think this is the dead vampire, not the
Yeah.
the
No.
Surge man. So your
Okay.
gruesome new pike is safe for now.
Okay. Good call. I'm fine with that then. I got what I wanted.
All right, so I guess Percy's gonna start like dragging the vampire body outside to lay it out in the sunlight.
Yeah, and the sun is getting pretty low. You guys have spent some time, walking through town, walking from town to town. You've had a busy day.
Yeah.
So it's probably maybe around 5-6 o'clock. The sun's setting, but there is just enough sunlight that as you lay it out, you do notice, even as you're carrying it outside, there are flakes that are beginning to come off and the skin beginning to change color a little bit as what's left of the sunlight is beginning to burn away at the body.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Could the vampire have like woken up if we put it under the ground? We buried it again.
You don't know.
We sort of already burned it now.
Yeah, true.
Way to not think about whether you want to preserve body parts before we leave.
Well, I was also curious on how this thing would disintegrate.
Well, now you know.
Magically?
Mm-hmm. It's like someone snapped, and he's dust.
I suppose the local pig population is safer tonight. Where does that leave us?
In search of somebody to turn this thing into something useful.
I don't know who that person will be, Arthur. I cannot tell you.
Keep an eye out.
Next time I see a beast weapon transmogrifier, I'll let you know.
I can imagine
Appreciate
him
that.
hanging around with that head spear, and then someone's like, "What is Johnny's head doing in your spear?"
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and be nice and like just not carry this thing around and put it in the pack that I keep on Jasmine. Just tuck it in there.
Just awkwardly squished in there.
Yeah, just
Probably
kind of
about
smoosh
6
it in.
inches of the proboscis still sticking out of the bag. So what would you all like to do?
Well, I took a lot of damage. I definitely want to sleep.
You know, I think I actually might want to show the farmers people like the head thing. Like maybe just let them know. I think we found what killed the pigs.
Well, yeah.
Maybe ask anyone if they knew a vampire was lurking in town too.
There's several unanswered questions still.
That might be a good idea.
Lark, you're good at talking to people.
Aren't
Go
vampires?
find a farmer.
Aren't vampires undead?
I think so.
Yes. You'd know vampires are undead. That's basic knowledge.
So this
Yep.
thing is what killed the big target that you were seeing, Arthur.
Yes,
Okay.
presumably. With the hole in its neck and all.
Yeah.
It also tried to kill Rerek, so
It wasn't
Couldn't have been
completely
all-
innocent.
Right.
nothing's completely innocent. Is there like a tavern or anything in town that we can go to, or is it too small for one?
It does seem to be a bit small for a tavern. You didn't even see one in Nashing. It seems the only tavern is the Maggoty Grave. However, there does seem to be a bakery. You could smell it when you had come through. That has a kind of, it's interestingly modeled like a very sort of whimsical version of the watermill. And it is called the Watermill. That's in town.
Let's go get you a scone.
You're muted again, Yofi.
So maybe just there for food, scones, perhaps. Since Lark suggested.
Scones for the Dragonborn.
Scones.
I love a good after murder scone. Who doesn't?
Was it really murder though if he wanted to die?
I mean, maybe. Scones either way.
Yes.
Let's go to the Watermill Bakery shop. And is there anybody in there when we get there?
Yes. There is a very large woman that's there. She has almost a beehive sort of hairstyle, really bright purple lipstick, more of like a royal purple, a huge gap between her teeth, a beauty mark. She has an apron that's just covered in flour, and she's excitedly running around.
I love her
And as you open the door, she goes, "Ooh, darlings, welcome. I have just baked a bunch of pies. I've been so excited. I've been closed for so long. I'll get them." And then she just runs to the back and runs back out almost at blinding speed with a bunch of pie. You don't know how she's carrying all these pies. And she starts putting them out on the counter. She's clearly still like rushing to make sure that things are, around now that customers are seemingly starting to come in. "Oh, so what's your favorite pie? Do you like fruit flavored pies, chocolate pies, nut pies? We have cookies, brownies, scones.
Have you any mints?
Mince pie? Yes, plenty, plenty." And she pulls out a surprisingly large, almost like Chicago deep dish pie. That's very clearly a mince pie. It's a nice, good serving.
Can I insight check her?
Yes, you may.
Okay, because where I'm from, like, people who want to give people pies are not to be trusted.
I mean, I'm assuming
Very true.
pay for the pies.
She owns a bakery.
Well, so did the witches in Curse of Strahd, but yeah.
Well, I'm also
corrected.
curious how she's doing all that so fast.
Well, if you'd like to make an insight check, you can. But with a 13, she is genuinely excited to sell you pies.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to be giving them away for free, but she's excited to be back in business again.
Lovely.
So Lark's just gonna be like, "Oh, I think a scone mince pie for him. Oh, do you have? I'm new-ish to the area. What's your favorite pie, madam?"
Ooh, I make a mean cinnamon pear pie.
We'll take a cinnamon pear pie, I suppose.
Oh, of course. And she starts like cutting up the pie and putting it on plates and things like that. And she starts handing the plates over as she's she's very clearly like doing some motions with her fingers of she's tallying up the price. And she goes, well, for all that, that will be about 2 gold pieces.
Oh, okay. I've got it.
Sorry, it's a bit expensive, but we only use the finest ingredients here.
Why were you closed
sharing
down?
my mint.
Oh, well, this town seems to have its fair share of problem with pests, and, well, it's a long story, but I have a suspicion someone is targeting me.
Oh, do tell.
Rats.
Rats?
Rats.
Rats.
No one else seems to have problems with rats.
Not entirely sure I want to eat this pie now.
Oh, no. I don't sell rat pie. That's a bit too common for the likes of me.
Pie? It's a delicacy.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to make a quick roll. If everyone can make me a perception check.
Oh, that's the wrong screen.
Out of 21.
Oh.
16.
18.
Oh, 1 second. I had to yawn. 5.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting.
So you definitely don't hear anything. You might be too busy
just
chewing
eating.
on a big piece of pie.
Simon is dead.
Oh my
As a
goodness.
vegetarian.
But the other 3 of you, you start hearing far away flute music.
Like fun time flute music, or like creepy children getting drawn into the woods type flute music?
Hyper type.
Fun time flute music.
Okay, all right. Do we know? Can we ask her where it's coming from?
Sure, you can if you'd like.
So yeah. Lark's just gonna be like, do you hear that? I didn't even get your name. What was your name again?
Oh, one moment. Let me check my sheet. My name is Grenadine Pearson.
Grenadine, such a lovely name. My friends call me Lark.
Oh, how lovely.
Do you hear that?
And she kind of takes a moment to listen. And then you watch her eyes go wide. And she goes, oh, damn it, they're after me again. And she runs to the back as you hear her shout, barricade the windows, barricade the doors. And she gets a shovel and comes out front. And at this point, the flute music is definitely getting louder.
The rats are back.
Yes, the rats are back. They're back. They're going to be everywhere.
So the rats they're drawn by the music?
Yes, every single time I've heard it, I've never figured out where it's coming from. Then again, I always barricade the door and spend time smashing all the rats and then staying closed for like 4 weeks last time to make sure that the shop was totally clean. And I just reopened. She's clearly very, very frustrated that this has happened.
Is there any way we could like listen to the direction of where this music's coming from?
If you'd like, you can give me a perception check again to try and listen to it.
That's only going to be a 9.
It's definitely coming towards the front of the building.
I guess I'll like thaumaturgy all the windows shut.
Yeah, as you do that, one of the windows shuts and the glass panes, you actually see now, you hear things, lots of things scurrying around outside. And as the window slams shut, you actually see a couple of rats launch themselves as if they were going to fly through the window, and they just boom, 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 boom off the glass.
You weren't kidding. Wow. All right then, boys. I guess it's time to kill some rats.
With my
Finish my
mouth full,
pie?
I go, what was that?
Welcome, Rerek.
Buildings being swarmed with rats, dear.
So yes,
Oh,
if
holy crap.
if everyone could roll initiative as I misspell Grenadine, because she's also going to be rolling initiative.
I swear to God, if I can't hit a rat with the sacred flame, I'm gonna
Oh
cry.
my God.
Oh no.
7.
9.
7 for
Hey, I got
Arthur.
7 too.
Yeah.
7
No.
And I have
for Percy.
advantage.
So
I got-
who
I got a
has
14.
Lark got a 14, and before we resolve Percy and Arthur, Rerek
9.
9. Who has the higher dex? I'll put them on 8.
Mine's a +2.
So Arthur it
4.
is.
Yeah.
So Arthur is at an 8. So
I also have a
surprisingly,
+2. That's weird.
Did you incorporated that in your initiative roll, right?
I did. Should I have?
Yes. Not that it really makes a difference in
Okay.
the order of things, but yes, you should. So that would mean if you have a +2, then that means you have an 11 technically.
Okay. I'll take.
You're still behind Lark. Oops, that is not the right initiative. All right. So you hear, once again, the rats. The door begins shaking as you hear the bodies of rats just throwing themselves against the door. And I'm going to make a quick roll. Ooh. You see Grenadine whip around as a small section of the wall, the baseboard crunch opens up as this swarm of rats pours into the room and begins to swarm at your feet. And at this point, Grenadine is just like, no, not again. And she just starts going to town with the shovel, smashing. And oh no, she rolled a natural 1. So on the first sweep, she swipes at a bunch of rats that have crawled up on the table and just sweeps the table clean with this huge shovel.
Oh, her pies.
All of her pies just go everywhere, and you see the rats begin to swarm onto the pies. So that means it is Lark's turn.
Oh, so
With Rerek on deck.
so if we're attacking the rats, are we attacking individual rats or like swarms of rats?
It's a swarm. So
Okay.
it is one thing with one stat block.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and throw 90 rats at you, each with individual stat blocks in their own initiative.
Initiatives.
Dear goodness.
It's rat number 72's turn.
Oh no, I forgot rat 90. I have to go back.
Oh my God.
Holy crap.
So the sound of this music is still filling the air, right? Of the pipes?
Yes, it's very close now.
Oh, I almost want to like...
Percy will be like, Lark, go find the music. We'll handle it here.
Can I use my action to perception check to see if I could find where the music's coming from?
I'll say you can use your bonus action.
Okay. Oh shit, that's a nat 20.
Damn.
Oh. So the music seems to be coming from out front. Seems like it's probably on the street. Off to the left a little bit. You can probably, if you looked through the window, you could probably maybe spot who's doing it.
I'm gonna fly to the window to see if I can spot who's making this music on my glorious my first nat 20 of the game, I think.
Ooh. So with that nat 20, as you peek out the window, You notice there are 3 humanoid figures. They seem to be wearing makeshift sackcloth masks with holes cut in them. And they have like mud stains on them and twigs coming out of the top. And one of them is dancing around playing a set of panpipes. One of the other ones looks very excited. One of them looks very apprehensive. But the 3 of them are standing outside of the bakery, and that's where the flute music is coming from.
I'm just gonna be like, I found who's doing it outside. And so the windows, is it being swarmed with rats too? There's no like little gap or anything, is there?
No. And there are rats that are continually just off the window.
If I have line of sight on the one playing the thing, I'm going to. Can I have an intelligence saving throw from it?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna mind sliver it.
Ooh, well, it definitely failed.
Yeah, so it needs to do an intelligence saving throw, take 1d6 psychic damage, and subtract a d4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn. So yeah, I will. It's gonna take 2 psychic damage as I just glare at it through the window and whisper something in Sylvan.
You watch as this thing, whatever it is, stops playing flute music and just falls over. And the rats, all of a sudden, just stop. And they start behaving like actual rats. They sit down, they start sniveling around a little bit. Some of them maybe grab a nut off of the pie and begin to nibble on it. And then it takes a moment before they all realize they're standing around a lot of people, and they begin to whoosh. And you actually hear from outside, from the place where you dropped this creature, you just hear, Jack, no, Jack, wake up, Jack, wake up.
I'm just being like, they're outside, come on. And well, that's probably all I can do with my turn, but I'm just like motioning to the window to where I just mind slivered someone. Psychic attacks.
Is it still initiative, or can we just go?
Yeah, you can just go. You're out of initiative.
Burst
the rats,
out the door
you still see the rats kind of running away.
Yeah.
Just like large groups of rats jumping and leaping away from everyone.
Percy's gonna burst out the door and just point his finger, you! And then he casts hold person on the person who's like screaming Jack.
You that's a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom save.
Can we presume that we're all following him outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
you watch as this person is shaking the unconscious body of the person that it called Jack, and it
Is the third one doing anything?
The third one kind of looks back and forth like it's gonna bolt, but then it reaches up and pulls off its mask, and it's like, no, we're just kids.
Percy's gonna walk over. Why are you terrorizing this woman?
It was, and you see I'm assuming you haven't let go of hold person, have you?
No. Can I still talk and do that?
I don't know, honestly. They might be able to, but I think it's like a total like lockup.
I mean, can I talk?
You can. Yeah, you can still talk.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like walk over to them. I'm still like holding like this, like force choking, like.
And the one that pulled off its mask, it is a human child. Brown hair, freckles, a little bit pudgy, but he just is still holding his mask, and he's like, it was all Jack's idea. we were getting free pies and cake.
Who
So
was
you're
giving you
ruining
free
someone's
pies and
business
cake?
for some free pies.
The rats were taking it for us.
And who is controlling the rats?
Jack.
Where are your parents?
They're at home.
Are all of you related or friends or?
We're friends.
Very well.
How did Jack learn how to control the rats?
I don't know. He just came home with the panpipes one day, and he said he could get us free pies and cakes, and
I pick up the panpipes and I hand it to Lark.
Yeah, we'll be taking that.
Wait, did I kill this kid, by the way? This Jack kid, or is he just unconscious?
he seems to be unconscious.
Oh, nuts.
Percy bends down and he's going to use cure wounds on Jack.
And Jack kind of sits up. Do you let go of hold person?
No.
Okay.
Not
So
yet.
Jack was knocked out. One is being held person, and one's talking to us, right?
Yes. So Jack sort of wakes up and he looks around
I'm like
just
kneeling over
shocked.
him and I have like my plague doctor mask on now.
and he kind of
Jack
he's still
is-
wearing his mask.
Yeah. Your name is Jack, is it?
Yeah.
Take off your mask.
And he pulls his mask off. He has very black, straight hair that kind of just like hangs off his head. He has a lot of course, bedhead because he pulled the mask off. Other than that, he looks like a pretty average, probably maybe 8-year-old.
So is this just a scam to steal sweets and ruin an innocent woman's business?
Yeah.
Very well. How did you find this pan flute?
And he kind of looks, he's not really looking to anyone in particular. I'm not allowed to tell you.
But Jack, we're your friends. And when Lark says that, he's gonna subtle spell a charm person on this child.
Wonderful.
So I need a wisdom saving throw from him as his eyes glow briefly. And I did technically hit him with Mind Sliver, so he subtracts a D4 from it.
Oh, yep. Oh, but it's before the end of your next turn, wasn't it?
That's true.
So he
Which
doesn't.
we're out of. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been several seconds.
Okay.
What is your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is, I think it's a 14. Let me double check. Yeah, it's a 14.
He rolled a 17.
Damn, brainy kid.
So you watch as he does almost fall under the sway of the spell, but then he just goes, you know, magic.
I figured that would be obvious by now, Jack.
Well, if I subtle spelled it, he wouldn't know I cast it on him, I think.
I think he does know that he has had a spell cast on him.
Yeah, probably
Not necessarily that you cast the spell.
I think I have like my staff and maybe it's like his runes are glowing a little bit and it's like still paralyzing his friend, so probably thinks it's me who's casting it.
Probably.
Intimidation check. Where'd you get the pan flute, Jack?
Roll me an intimidation check then.
Maybe Jasmine can like growl and like walk over.
21.
All right. I'm gonna say, yeah, Jasmine probably helps you out a bit, gets real close and growls. He kind of squeezes into a fetal position, closes his eyes, and he goes, a lady gave it to me. A lady gave it to me. She said that I could have all the cakes and candy I wanted. And you see a small stain begin to spread in his pants as he's peed himself.
You are peeing yourself.
Percy starts feeling a little bad and he kind of backs off a little bit.
Arthur.
He releases the
scaring him
friend.
too
Like,
much.
Well, I didn't hurt him. He's just weed a bit. Not that big a deal.
Now,
What
Jack-
lady? When?
Yeah, tell it, Jack. Just please. I don't want his cat to have to eat you.
At
I'm
this
gonna
point,
use.
there is probably like a tear or two that come out of his eyes as he's now like panicking.
Yeah.
Lark's just gonna he's gonna almost like float forward and be like, Jack, let us help you. Just tell us who and where you met who this lady is, where you met her. You can trust us.
He's still kind of closing his eyes, and he just goes, I met her a couple weeks ago in the woods. Her name is Frau Kindereater.
Frau
Frau
Kindereater?
Kindereater.
Yeah,
I don't like
you
the
would
sound of that.
probably that raises red flags for you, Lark. You
Can I
live in the
history check
Feywild.
that?
You do not have to, because
I mean,
you
the
are
name
close
alone.
yeah, this is a hag. This is very much a hag. Being part of the gloaming court and being around there, while they don't really accept hags, they're more inclined to do business and deals with hags. This is a hag name. It might not be her name exactly, but it's definitely a hag alias. They
So
tend
yeah,
to
one of the
use
aliases that hags use in the mortal realm. Okay.
Yes.
I'm literally, when he says that, Lark's just gonna reach out and pet his cheek and be like, "You're lucky you got away with your life, kid."
There's a moment, and then he just bawls.
um,
I'm gonna look back at the other three, and I'm just gonna be like, Frau Kindereater's an alias that I'm just gonna be like, it's one of the 12 common names that hags use when they come to the mortal world.
assuming we know what hags are.
Yeah, they're the stereotypical fairy tale witches.
Yeah.
They eat
Hags.
kids. They are
Oh,
old and
no.
wrinkly and things like that.
If I'm perfectly honest, I'm surprised it took us this long to find a hag.
It's problematic. Children, can you point us in the direction of Frau Kindereater? I mean, I released the friend.
Okay. They all kind of stand up, and they're very clearly frightened.
Yeah.
And the other one takes off her mask now that she can, and she has beautiful golden ringlets, and she kind of looks like a Shirley Temple kind of
Oh.
girl. And she kind of says, Jack said that if we were good enough, Frau Kindereater would take us to Pinprick and we could live in her gingerbread house. And then Jack shoves her and just goes, no, don't tell them that.
She'd take you to where?
They all kind of just stare at you.
I said Pinprick. Do you know a place called Pinprick, Lark?
Well, isn't Pinprick one of the villages?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would know that, Percy.
Okay.
It is a village around here
It
that
was
you've
a
heard
fairy
stories
thing.
about it just straight up vanishing off the map, basically. No one knows what happened.
Okay. Children, Percy kind of stands up and he's starting to feel bad for these kids now. He's like, you can stay away, stay out of the forests, all of you. And I'm going to start using thaumaturgy and make the ground start rumbling. And
At that point, they just book it.
Wait,
They all
wait,
just
wait.
run.
Children, wait. Lark
They don't stop. They do not stop.
And Percy's just going to call out and say, and stay away from the bakery. I put a ward around it.
I was gonna give them charms, you big lug. He just smacks. Ah,
They need to stay home. Your charms will do nothing. Wow.
So I don't think I actually bothered above game to have Arthur share his backstory with the rest of the group.
No.
But
No.
I'm Arthur's feeling a bit #triggered. I think it's at this point where it's probably wise to share that, the history with Pinprick. So I take a moment, let everybody know how terrible my experience there was, and that I'm really, really not looking forward to returning there.
I don't think Colton, the person, knows what Arthur's history with Pinprick is.
Oh, okay. Well, I did a bit of a write-up. I'll just briefly, go through. Arthur was abandoned out in the woods. The reason he doesn't know Elvish is he was raised in Pinprick by a halfling seamstress woman. We met Jasmine while we were out foraging. The village during a festival, I was out at a hunt. I had learned to hunt from some traveling hunters. That's how I ended up becoming a ranger. Returned from a hunt one day with Jasmine to deliver a boar for the festival for roasting, and the village was overtaken by undead and burnt to the ground, and nobody really knows why. I haven't shared my story with many people.
Arthur relayed.
Did you share that to me?
Say that again?
Did you share that to me? I don't remember.
Yeah, I put
He's
it in
just
the Instagram.
now shared it to
Yeah.
everyone.
No. Like Rerek.
Oh, character-wise? Yeah, you probably knew about it.
Okay, I should have said something.
Yeah, because, you're super nosy, so I probably wouldn't have been able to get you to stop asking.
Yeah.
Percy be like, oh, Saint Hypatia protect us. I'm sorry, Arthur, that sounds devastating.
Yeah,
Lark's just he's gonna at the end of the story, he's gonna just kind of nod. Great, like normally he's a little flippant and a little too happy-go-lucky, I guess, but he's a little like grave about it, and he's like, I mean, unfortunately it checks. If a hag's going to set up camp anywhere, it's going to be a disastrous spot where she has easy access to nearby people.
So the tragedy at Pinprick could have been the work of a hag, of this Frau Kindreader.
Either way, it doesn't sound like she's up to any good. So I suppose we have to find out.
Well, no matter what, this is a problem for tomorrow. I'm rather tired.
We can't fight her.
I am inclined to agree with you, Lark. The subject of fighting a hag seems somewhat intimidating.
This does sound like a problem for another day. I certainly don't have the mental capacity to deal with this. Not after today's events. Is there anywhere around where we could rest?
The Maggoty Grave,
Back to the inn.
Back to the inn it is.
which is probably, again, another like 90-minute hike.
Oh boy, now it's like dark.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to
Rerek,
say it's not
you have-
quite dark, but
Rerek, do you have Identify as a spell maybe above game? Like Nino?
Yeah, I was listening. What was that again?
Do you know Identify as a spell?
Mm-mm. I don't know.
Well, you have Detect Magic, right?
Yeah.
Could you check these panpipes for me? Lark's
Sure.
in character, he's just gonna be like, if a hag gave a child this, could you just tell me if this is cursed, please? He's using, after it was discovered that it was a hag, he's just mage handing it now.
yeah.
How it is a ritual.
so yeah, you can do it while walking back. I won't
Okay.
make you stand still. They are magical.
What
school?
kind of magic's on them, Rerek?
I would say definitely enchantment magic, if not a tiny bit of conjuration.
Yeah.
But they don't.
And we detect where it came from, or like from who? I mean, we already kind of know.
It just tells you if the item is magical and what schools of magic surround it.
Would he be able to tell if it's like cursed with Detect Magic?
I don't think so. I think it's just schools of magic and where the exact pinpoint of magic is. It's not
No, I think you're right.
Wouldn't something already happen to that Jack kid if it was cursed?
That's kind of a good point.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
curses from a hag can take many shapes and forms.
Mhm.
And some of them can take quite a while to take root and bloom. Like a lot of things where I'm from. That child shouldn't have run away.
Right.
Oh well. Not my loss.
One
Right.
can only assume her intention was to eventually eat them. I mean,
She's
she
probably
was kind
fattening
of
them up.
fattening them up. Yeah.
Honestly, how did they not understand that a person named Frau Kinder Eater is probably not a great person for children to hang around?
Or to accept strange instruments from strange women in strange places.
In a ginger
Their parents have
house.
a lot to teach them about stranger danger.
Quite.
Well, hopefully they all run home and are scared enough to stay there for a while. Not that we can even do much about Frau Kinderreader, but right now all I can think about is bed. So, how's the walk going?
There is no incident. You might notice a few more rats running around, but other than that, you
I
make
love
it
how we
to the Maggoty Grave perfectly
I-
fine in one piece.
I love how we
Um,
didn't check on that bake shop lady.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot to
We
check on
definitely
the
left
shop.
Grenadine out to clean all the rats from her own place.
Hi,
Oh,
Grenadine.
no, Grenadine, I'm sorry. We should have followed up.
I mean, she didn't even really kill any of the rats. She just destroyed some of her bakeware and pies.
Poor lady.
So if
Ah.
anything, she only really has a hole in the wall and a couple of broken plates to clean up this time around.
I hope she remembers the strange adventurers that briefly came into her bakery and then left swiftly after, fondly.
Well, at least you guys paid.
Yeah, we did pay.
You did pay
What's
before
that?
just leaving.
Arthur paid.
You're welcome.
All right, so do we make it back to the Maggoty Grave?
Yeah, you make it back to the Maggoty Grave. Oslo is there, kind of, tips his hat. It's probably tail end of dinner.
Yeah.
There's some, soup getting still passed around. The fire's probably burning pretty low. People are probably going upstairs or going back to wherever they're going.
At this point, Arthur's just exhausted enough, and having been like shook by having heard about Pinprick, I just toss 7 silver on the counter and start walking upstairs. I'm not even interested in food.
Yeah, and it seems he seems to recognize that in you. I'd say maybe you lock eyes for a moment as you toss the silver onto the bar, and he almost opens his mouth to say something, but it's like he recognizes that and just goes back to what he was doing, probably cleaning a glass while still smoking a huge cigar.
I guess I'll say to Lark and Rerek, I might be too exhausted, but you're a rather chatty Cathy, Lark, so maybe you want to pry into Oslo, that is mysteriously returned from his activities of the day.
I suppose I can. I'll land on, well, not land on the counter. I'll just hover in relatively where someone would sit at the counter and just be like, Oslo, darling, how are you doing?
Not too good, especially since Simon's gone now.
Yes, it was quite a shock when we woke up this morning, and where we asked around after him. We even, thanks to I motioned towards Percy. Thanks to Percy over there, we even managed to get the poor boy back to his family, but where were you?
I have business elsewhere occasionally.
Can I insight check him?
Yes.
Oh, that's only a 4. Oh yeah, business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Percy and just be like,
And he's just still cleaning away, cleaning glasses.
Yeah.
As I think I named her Samantha, the girl, I should have wrote that down, is still running plates out to people and taking, well, more of at this point, taking plates back to get washed. It seems to be pretty much winding down around here.
Well, I'm gonna try and get to sleep. I'm the most injured.
I think Percy kind of like goes back over to Lark. He's like, if I was more awake, I might want to dig deeper into that large man over there, but I don't have it in me right now.
oh, darn.
Phrasing.
It goes right over Percy's head. And so he heads up the stairs.
So I guess I'm the last one left downstairs. And I'm just gonna like look at Oslo. I mean, business is business, but it can mean so many things, but nothing really screamed red flag at that. I don't know. Lark's just he's gonna give him like one last look before trailing everybody else upstairs to get some rest, because it has been an exhausting day. Even he can admit that.
Yep, it certainly has.
So yeah. But well, actually, before he goes upstairs, he's gonna look towards Oslo and be like, Oslo, one last thing. Oh, what was that village that had Grenadine's place? What that was wailing or weeping? Weeping. There's something strange about the children around these parts. They rove in packs, and a girl in another village. What? He remembers that Percy told him not to ask why is the vibe so weird. So he's just gonna be like, where do the children tend to congregate when their parents are not paying attention to them?
Not much less suspicious of a question.
I don't really pay attention to children. I do my business. They don't bother me. I presume they play in their front yards, perhaps in the street, maybe in some of the closer woods, the fields. They're kids.
You're lucky you're so cute, Oslo. Samantha.
And at this point, she kind of is running at that point by you and kind of, as she tries to stop on a dime and the plates kind of rattle. Yes.
You're young for a mortal, right?
Yes.
Where do other children go to play around these parts?
Well, there's not really any particular place. You go and play where you think it's fun. Some kids, I was an indoor kid. I liked to read, and I didn't really go outside much.
Pity. So I suppose in the long run that's going to help people like you. Well, thank you for the time. Ta-ta! And I'm just gonna fly upstairs because these people are useless to me. Yeah, I'll fly upstairs and I guess go back to my cupboard, Harry Potter this shit.
Well, Lark, you don't. I was joking about the cupboard.
Cuddle puddle. No. Is it a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom?
2-bed.
Yeah, it's a 2-bed.
Okay.
2 people can fit in a room, so 2 beds.
So wait, is Rerek taking up a bed in this room?
Well, half like a whole bed, and
Yeah, I think it's
part
the
of my
three of us in
legs.
here.
It's like
And-
part of my legs are off the bed.
Our loner ranger friend off by himself with Jasmine.
Yeah.
And it worked
Okay.
because you ended up sleeping in the cupboard, so it worked out where there was room for everyone in the room.
Yeah. I'll sleep in the cupboard, it's fine.
We can lay a pillow or something out over by the window. It's fine.
That might be nice. I'll lay
I'll
a
give him one of my
pillow.
pillows and a blanket.
I'm gonna look up at them. Is it rainy and shitty outside as usual?
Not tonight.
Okay.
The clouds do, it's really strange. It's almost like realms in the Feywild in the sense that during the day, it's almost always cloudy. You never see a blue sky, don't see the sun. It's just clouds all the time. But at night, occasionally, the clouds clear up and you can see the stars and the moon
Hmm.
and things of that nature. So yes, you can see the moon.
Lark's gonna pull out so he has his own set of pipes, not the weird spooky rat ones.
Mhm.
And just before bed, he's gonna play a really quick, gentle tune as he looks up at the sky and just thinks a little bit about home.
Aw,
And yeah, then he's gonna go to bed. Sleep.
that's sweet.
Oh, that's
All right.
cute.
And as you all drift off to sleep, we are going to end the first episode of this session here so that we can all take a nice stretch break, go pee, get more drinks. And we will see you all next week for the continuation of this episode. And the rest of you will be back in 5 minutes to finish this session.